I always do my turning throws going to my left. So neck surrounding, going to the left. This is still though just one, a hip throw. It's just one with neck surrounding. I can do a hip throw with the lower body grip. I can do one with an underhook and turn, but this is all one, W-E-N, which is hip throw, right? We did this thing where, I remember I had arm drag, and so I come in here, and this was root, the through hip throw, you know, the entry hip throw, which is a half hip throw, right? Then there's outside hip throw. So people were asking, for example, I think I was actually here, right? I was asking, if I was here, could I do that hip throw to the outside because of the foot? And I said the reason I wasn't doing this is because I'm just not comfortable going in this direction. It's not the footwork. But the real, more accurate answer is that because this foot is forward, it's not just that I'm uncomfortable, it could be a different one. So let's say you switched your feet. Okay? So let's say I'm comfortable going in this direction, and that's why I did it, just like this uncomfortable way. But I want you to see that if this foot is forward and I'm going in this direction with my stealing step, and I'm here, I can still do a hip throw, but you see how I'm on the outside of him as opposed to being inside him? Right? Inside, with the arm here, I'm half inside, but I'm still inside. And this is outside. In Shuai Jiao, there's a name for this. It does exist. It's an outside hip throw. It's Dao, and it means like if you take like a vase of water, and you pour out the water, and as the water pours out and smashes down like into the bowl or into the basin, that falling of the water, that's Dao. And again, it makes perfect sense because if you're water in the basin, when I get here and I pick you up like this, I didn't throw you, but you see that you would go out of the basin and smash into the imagery of the water falling out of the vase into the basin. You're the water. Does that make sense? So if you want to go to the outside of either leg, depending on what direction you're comfortable in, it's still, you can have the neck surrounding, you can have the underhook, you can have the lower body. In other words, I can do this and still do Dao, which is outside the hip. But look at the relationship of my body to his hip. I'm on the outside of his hip. I'm not in between, like inside his hip. This is one. If for some reason, I had done this would be root, right? And this one out here is Dao. Okay? The nice thing about Shuai Jiao, and I think the most rewarding thing for me when I got all the archives, was we had techniques and we didn't know what the Chinese names were. And the one thing about Shuai Jiao is it is very meticulous in that they did catalog many, many, many names. It's, like I said, they weren't literate, and we don't have the complete Shanpu Ying books that were probably incredibly detailed. But for a bunch of semi-literate to illiterate wrestlers, they still kept a lot of the names, more so than probably any other Chinese martial art. If whatever leg he has forward, let's say he has this leg forward, right? And I'm throwing it by coming to here. That's outside of his hip. If he switches his feet and I throw him by coming to here, I'm outside of his hip. In other words, I've put my buttocks to his buttocks, as opposed to my buttocks to his hip. The standard hip throw, buttocks to hip, used to be called in Western boxing, and bare knuckle boxing, where you were allowed to throw somebody, was literally called a cross buttocks throw. Because you would cross your buttocks in front of them. But this is both of our rears are together for it to go over. But like I said, if I threw you this way, it would be pretty hard to fall for you. Yes. Because of the angle that you're going. And so that's why I think also the imagery of that particular turn is very appropriate.